Hey there YouTube, it's JP Dunphy, your BMW genius here at BMW of Fort Washington. In today's video, I'm going to be going over your traction control systems and how to kind of cycle through them, get the most out of them under different situations, and well, yeah. Basically, what does your button do and what does it mean when you see different options? What's normally on, what's normally off? All the common questions that we tend to get when you are new to BMW, or some people even that have had BMW still ask this question. With that, let's get started. All right, so right here, this button right there, the little car with the spaghetti marks behind it, with the off next to it, that is your traction control, or excuse me, dynamic stability control features right there. Now, when you go through this button, you have to press it to basically deactivate in stages. So there are 3 stages altogether. First one as you go through is DSC On, that's your normal status. Then you have something called traction, which is kind of your sport traction, dynamic traction, whatever you might want to call it mode. And then you have DSC Off, that's dynamic stability control off. All right? So all that, it's everything that basically makes the car stable, predictable, all that. Now, the way you want to turn it off or start to deactivate it slowly, normally when you look at your display, you see nothing. Why? Because your DSC is on. Now, another reason why this button says off, it means that any button that says off, like both of these, they are normally on when you start the car by default. So you need to press to turn it off. Likewise for your idle start stop. The thing that, shuts down the engine and turns back on when you're at stoplights and anything for, anyway, not in this video. So, giving this guy one quick press switches you from DSC on to traction. You'll see that little guy right down here that says traction right there, as well as dynamic traction control activated. Over here you have the traction, whoop, I went by a little fast, boom, boom. Optimum traction with reduced chassis stability, driver assistance, steering intervention is deactivated. That's all these guys written here. So if you don't want your steering intervention, this is one of the many ways to get it off. Anyway, beside the point, this little traction mode is also how we got into launch mode for all your cars. So again, this is a little bit different on M cars, so we're not going to go into that here. But M Performance and standard BMWs, they all have this version of it. So yeah, pretty simple, straightforward. Now I will make a separate video based on the M traction option that is out there if you get the M driver's pack. Now what that does, that basically increases your top speed to 180 miles per hour, as well as gives you a 10 level traction adjustment separate from all your other M options. Now I'll make a separate video for that. I need to wait for a car to come in that actually has that, at which point I can show you. Until then, this is what we got. Back to this video. All right, so if you press and hold this for more than, I like to say 5 seconds, even though it's a little bit shorter than that, you will get DSC off. Now what that does, that turns off everything, all chassis stability, driver assistance, steering intervention, all that is deactivated. This is basically, donuts in a parking lot as a teenager. That's really what this is for. Under 99.9% of circumstances, I would say there's actually no need to ever turn these off. Why? Because they're a safety system. They're there to help you. And if anything, most people will get more than enough fun out of simply using the quick touch traction setting, which will allow you to have a little more tail out action, but still have the safety net to keep you safe, especially if you're still getting to learn your car and just getting to know your car, learning all about your car's, chassis, dynamics, everything to, make the most out of your car. But obviously, like most things, you don't sit there and after 2 days of, climbing a rock wall, just go and climb a mountain without any safety gear. You need a little bit of help. That's what the traction system's for. That's what the dynamic stability control system is, 3 levels to help you with. So with that is the really quick version of this. I'm now going to take this guy out and show you just quick turns real fast, exactly how each level works and affects your driving and the car's, stability. With that, let's get started on that. All right, so demonstration inside the car. What I'm gonna do is just slowly make it right. This is with everything on, by the way. And we're gonna just turn this thing in. I'm gonna slowly increase the speed. Now, I don't know if you can hear it. It keeps cutting the power braking on the outside wheel, giving me more turn in and keeping me on the line that I'm asking for. You can keep feeling this back end kick out a little bit, and then it kind of reels itself back in real fast. So that's that. Let's switch to an outside view. All right, now for a go with the same thing in traction mode. Now in this mode, I get it full lock and start to give some power. Just let me kick out my tail end a little bit more. I'm sure you can probably hear that. You can probably also hear the brakes still kicking in since you still have the safety net. And let's take a quick look at that from the outside. And now, last but not least, DSC full off, same thing. All right, got a full lock. So you turn in, and now when you give it gas, none of that traction, tail out action, things are happening, and it's fun. And now for that look from the outside. So that's our video for today. Thanks so much for joining in with us. Now, if you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now, go in the future, like I said earlier in the video, if you ever do get an M car that has that extra 10 degrees or 10 different settings in traction mode, I will be sure to make a video for that. So that way all you M owners will know exactly what to do and make the most of that. So yeah, thanks so much for being with us. Have a great one. See ya.